speak. I'm Russell Ahrens. I'm an employee of Otsego County. I work in the Adult Protective Unit. I live at 180 County Highway 26. And the reason why I'm here today is Kathy Clark, our county attorney, our representative here, and a number of reps that were sitting at the time when 4 years ago on this very meeting, it was applauded that Maria's home was sold. It was also announced at that time that $180,000 had been realized. Today I see our deputy treasurer is here. Glad he's here. It's, by my calculations, our sale this year reaped over $1 million. Is that correct in any way? No answer right now, but I guess we have to add it up. Now, last time, I'm not sure if that $180,000 included the $25,000 that was pilfered by a county employee. Done quite transparently, yet it took over 2 years for this to come forward. Now, can you imagine how Maria felt, and Bob Force, who's here today, Save the Force Farm, I may add, how they felt when it was applauded that their homes had been taken. Yet they couldn't transfer the title because Judge Burns had put a hold on that. And I made an announcement at the auction which unfortunately repressed the price of her home, but yet our county treasurer had suggested that Maria Ajello could have somebody else buy it for her, and then after 3 years she could be entitled to perhaps buy it back. Well, now it's been 3 years since you transferred the title. 14 months had gone by. We came in front of this board every month begging and pleading for understanding to take the legitimate tax money. This county and no man is entitled to more than what a person owed. And for you to take more than that ahead of time is wrong. Last month you had a man here, he couldn't even talk, but the gal that was with him talked. Well, he was at the auction, and his family had to buy his place back for 3 times what he owed. And he didn't seem to be a man of high means. Now this place here, you finally acknowledged after 28 years, oh, yeah, there is an ethics law. I've been in front of you for 4 years talking about this. I'm going to bring the words of our late Jim Castani, our attorney at the time, who had said, well, we shouldn't have to, but if we have to, we'll bring ethics into this. Well, now it's here. And you've made a mockery of this ethics board. To put Kim Muller in that position when we knowingly know that she's best friends, by what's been written in the press, with Kathy Clark, who was the perpetrator in this, is disgusting. This board needs to do the right thing. Mediate with Mrs. Ajello and find a solution to this. Rescission is the word. You can go through this with nobody at fault. But let me remind you that this greedy auction company, and here's their thing, took over 40 properties out of the auction this year. 40 properties. You look at the numbering here, they're missing. And by the way, Mr. Frazier, I look at you, I think of that veteran, that combat veteran, that they mocked at the auction because they tried to go in his house, and he didn't even know it was being lost, as I understood from the auctioneer. They made a mockery of this man. This is a disgusting thing that what you're doing. You're only entitled to the tax and the penalties. And taking any more of that will bring a constant protest from people like me. It will not stop here. There's no threats against you, and by the way, $50,000 for a study. Most of the people on Smoky Hollow Road do not want it. You'll find that out as we go forward. I know it's funny. You know them all, right? So do I. Thank you.
My name is Robert Force. I reside at 65 Lake Street, Patchogue, New York. Former owner of 921 Route 51, Gilbertsville, New York. Mortgage-free property that I owned for 30 years. I'd like to read to you some of the bullet statements I have. January of 2013, Otsego County commenced instant proceedings seeking foreclosure on 3 properties for non-payment of tax related to the year 2000. They were granted their request and took possession of the deeds to the 3 properties. They started these proceedings 16 months before the final due date for 2013 taxes. The due date is June 30th of 2014. You took my property 1 year back, taxes owed. Otsego County did not have a board voter resolution to sell my property nor transfer my deeds. The first time in the history of Otsego County. Same with Maria Ajello. July 15, 2014, 14 days after the tax payment due date, my wife Donna Force called the treasurer, Dan Crow, to pay the property taxes for 2011-2013. He refused to take our back taxes for 2013. He stated that once we missed the June 30th deadline, I could not stop this foreclosure process. The property was put up for auction block August 20th, 2014 in Mariana. The county gave no consideration that I was in a health facility recovering from knee surgery and it depended on my wife to pay the taxes. She thought I said July 30th. It was June 30th. We were 15 days late. Imagine that. Imagine that. My wife's disabled with MS. We brought letters to this board that she has problems with her memory, but that didn't matter. That didn't matter. July 16th of 2014, contacted Jim Castani, my former attorney. He contacted Otsego County Treasurer, Dan Crow, and Otsego County Attorney Alan Coleman to accept the back taxes, but was denied on July 18, 2014. August 18th, went to the Otsego County Court at 8:30 a.m. Judge Burns presided. He questioned the Otsego County Attorney, why won't you let the Forces pay their back taxes? He also asked her, how much did the Forces owe? The Otsego County Attorney, Al Coleman, had no answers for the Judge Burns. The county attorney asked if she could get back to the judge by 3 p.m. Why wasn't this case thrown out of court? She came unprepared to court. Answer that question. We all know why. Judge Burns ordered the county attorney to make an announcement at the auction that there was a stay on the conveyance of the deeds and that the property was in litigation. By order of the county, we had to give the attorney a check for $21,989.11 to put in escrow. We didn't know that amount. We only owed $13,000 at the time. This is the first time in the history of Otsego County that anyone had to put money in escrow. November 5th, 2014, at the tentative meeting to request that my properties be redeemed. Presented copies of back taxes, letters of my wife's neurologist due to her memory loss, the MS. We stated that we only owed our 2011 taxes at the time of the auction on August 20th, 2014. 7 of the board meetings, including Rick Coles, asked for us, why are we here? It takes 4 years to foreclose on a property, and you can pay the day of the auction. He didn't even know it was in litigation. Nor did a lot of other you people that were here at that time. You did not know it was in litigation. What's that tell you? Was it put under the carpet? You steal my property that I owned for 30 years? Jack Hansen was here. The veterans advocate for the county asked, why aren't you helping these veterans? He stated that not even the IRS would have seized their properties like this. Otsego County Board member Betty Swartz stated that we should allow veterans to, God rest their soul, let veterans redeem their properties for their sacrifice for the service of our country. Betty Ann Swartz then asked for a board vote. We went to a back room. She asked that I could redeem my property. You voted no. In that back room, you made a comment about a flag that Maria Ajello brought in here. They came off the casket of her husband who died of Agent Orange, a combat vet. You were intimidated by that flag. And then you laughed about my uniform that I wore that day. What does Mr. Force thinks he's going to get sympathy from us? What kind of people are you? February 4th of 2015, spoke to the Otsego County Board again about redeeming my property. Otsego County Board members Betty Ann Swartz asked the county attorney, Uncle Coleman, how many years does it take to foreclose on a property? She stated 4 years. Betty Ann Swear corrected and said, you mean 4 consecutive years. Then she said, then why do you do foreclose on this property when he only owes 2011, 2013 taxes? My 2012 taxes were paid. She became frustrated and said, we cannot talk because we're in litigation. But on that same day, you returned a property that was owned by Chuck Behringer that he bought at that auction, August 20th of 2014. Guess what? The sheriff showed up 6 months later. Guy gets out of the vehicle. The former owner from 30 years ago. You foreclosed on that property twice without the former owner knowing about it. Then this treasurer, Dan Crow, allowed him to pay 10 years of back taxes prorated. Why can't we pay ours? Why couldn't we pay ours? You ever hear the 14th Amendment? We have copies of checks even of people that paid late in 2015, and you still didn't redeem our properties. May 7th, I went to the appellate court. After we failed, March 23rd. I wonder why. Who represented the county? Alan Kokomo. The judge went against us. I didn't find out until May 7th, 2015, because our attorney, the former attorney, Jim Casnani, passed away. We found out this decision. I went to Mr. Trossett. He said he couldn't handle my case, but 2 weeks later, he took on her case. Amazing. May 18th, received a return call from Otsego County Board because I asked him. When I first talked to him, he told me it takes 5 years to foreclose on a property. Why couldn't I pay the day of the auction? Well, that all changed because Dan Krause said I owed my 2000 taxes. I have a copy of that. I paid them. So it seems like some people can pay, some people can't. July 1st, Rick Holtz, Ed Lentz, Kathy Clark, and Dan Crow wanted to transfer the deeds to the bidder, but could not get a full vote because Betty Ann Sword walked out of that meeting. And she stated this is the first time she's seen board members and the treasurer be so aggressive in trying to transfer deeds of property when it's still in litigation. August 5th, the county board did not make a board vote nor resolution to transfer my property to the bidder. The board chair, Kathy Clark, took it upon herself to issue quitclaim deeds and transferred our properties. The document, when I questioned it, the document was mailed Friday, August 7th, 2015. The bidder was on my property that weekend, before the deeds were even recorded. Kicked down my doors, threw everything out. We were never notified by the sheriffs, evicted. And by the way, that's in the catalog that they have when you have these land sales. I have to be evicted. Why wasn't I evicted? What did you do to her? She didn't get through the appellate court. You came in the middle of the night, threw her off her property. What do you call that? Justice? Due process? Keep bowing your head up there. August 19th, we wanted a release of our escrow, over $21,000. He sent me a check that he didn't even sign, the treasurer. Tell me that's not spiteful. And finally, I did get a check back. Guess what? It wasn't the right amount, and we'll tell you at the end of this story what that's about. September 9th, we filed an Article 78 with my new attorney, Mayor Moser. December 2015, Attorney Moser met with Attorney Kokomo to discuss the case. Moser presented checks from property owners who paid their taxes late in 2015. In both cases, the county backdated the receipts to June 30th for payments received at July 1st. One was dated July 1st, the other August 13th. Attorney Kokomo stated and followed up with a letter that the county would like to negotiate prior to going to the New York State District, Eastern District of New York. She stated that she was not sure how she would be able to transfer the property back. Well, that's amazing. In 2015, you transferred the property back that was foreclosed on, what, twice, and the guy owned it 30 years ago. Equal justice. the Constitution, 14th Amendment. January 26th, Otsego Supreme Court Judge Burns' decision was made. Article 70 was dismissed on prejudice statute of limitation grounds, and that I received due process. December 7th, I attended the Otsego County Board, and they announced my lawsuit with the Eastern District. No one here was aware of it. You know how you found out about it? I paid $1,400 to put it in your circular because none of the newspapers would put it in for me. That what you did to me and her. Isn't that a shame? You know how much I got in this? $60,000, and I'm still going to court. I'm going to bring it to the Supreme Court if I have to. It's in DC now. It's just waiting. And I hope they use my story to show how this judicial system in this country is so corrupt, and your greed. It's all about your greed. Stealing from veterans, disabled, and elderly people. You should be ashamed of yourselves. I'm disabled. My wife is. What are you? What has this country become? Really? This is what I fought for? Are you kidding me? This isn't the country I grew up in. I'd like to show you the answers that you get from the attorney and representatives. My question about the 4 years. I get a real property tax law that doesn't even exist. I asked about the state law, or the laws of states I could pay the day of the auction. The answer to this question requires legal opinion and research, and the county does not provide legal opinions to the public. We recommend you consult your attorney. You know what a FOIA request is? The federal offense where you don't answer a FOIA request. Do you know that? Let's talk about the embezzlement, $25,000. We all know what happened there, don't we? The guy that laundered the money, for the guy that worked for the treasurer, pay the money back. It's only a misdemeanor. Really? It's called a felony, grand larceny. He should have been doing it in prison. And the guy that did it, they still haven't prosecuted him. But you took my property within a year. No due process. You just did what you wanted to do. You bragged in paper. You never lost a case. We know why. It's all going to come out. It's all going to come out. I'd like to tell you also that I have an email where your treasurer offered, stated in 2017, you didn't have 5 years on me, so now you said 1 year in rem. Isn't this amazing how people send me stuff? This email states 3 years in rem to 2017, you're taking properties. You took mine in one. It's in black and white. Then he states that we saw a picture of the background of each parcel, including understanding which ones are abandoned, which ones have owners who are making an effort to pay. He's also sharing 3 months, a list of properties. 3 months prior to the auction, the county employees. There's your ethics. Who's in charge of the ethics here? Here you go. There's evidence. You have no ethics here. How many county employees own 4 or 5 properties? I wonder how many own. How many properties does the person that took your property? 5. Sounds like a crime ring to me. Sounds like a business. This has been going on for decades in this county. Decades. And you got away with it. Even my former attorney was skimming money. Did you know that? I didn't find out till last November when I came here and met with the DA. Imagine that, skimming money from me. My money in your escrow, in your account, which means I paid my taxes. Over $20,000 I didn't even owe. Closing, I'd like to state that refusing to accept our tax in Otsego County broke its own laws. The county resolution number 26 of 1981, resolution 234 of 1985, states that any partial land acquired by the county for delinquent taxes may be redeemed by its former owner by paying the treasurer the total amount of tax, including interest penalties and other costs. The decision not to accept our tax in turn as per the county was the sole discretion of the treasurer, Dan Crow. That's what your DA told me. No collusion, no corruption. It's his sole discretion. But yet you have resolutions that never been amended. These are still your laws, your resolutions. The resolutions also state that the property owner can pay all taxes due at the day of the county land auction. County laws, state laws were broken in the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. I will never stand down until I receive justice and due process, which is denied by this board. I now refer to you as the Otsego County crime ring. And believe me, you're all over the place. Out west, out south, I'm speaking at a lot of land right rallies. Hopefully someday that this will go in higher places, which it's currently almost there. And when it does, hopefully your name's going to be all over this country for what you did to me and her. You should hang your heads in shame. And that's what you said to your constituents. If you're a veteran, disabled, or elderly, you're going to lose your property. You'll lose your job, you're going to lose your property. Shame on you. May God have mercy on you. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Maria Ajello, and I have my property transferred through a tax auction. There isn't much I can add to Mr. Force's story, except to say, with his permission, that Donna is in dire straits right now. She's had a stroke, she has a bad heart, she's on a feeding tube. It is hard. She came here to this board in her wheelchair and begged you to please let them pay their back taxes on a property that they bought for their honeymoon and wedding that they'd had for 30 years. And this is how you solve it, by taking it away from them. You have no heart. You have no conscience. Otherwise, you would understand the psychological damage it does to someone who goes with money in hand. Well, what else could you do? You went to the treasurer and he tells me I could buy it back myself or have someone buy it for me. It was shaking me down for $100,000. I owed not even $6,700 plus penalties. The resolution stated you could pay. You could pay with more penalty up to $500. We have people at the auction that don't even know you can't pay till the day of the auction. Resolutions. Bob gave you the number, look them up. Where's your proceedings of the county in your little blue books? You don't even name the properties anymore. There's no resolution that states you sold them. I'm looking. Nothing. You shamed us. You shamed us that year. Our names were in the paper. Our names were in the resolutions. Our names were in flyers handed out that we owed this much and disgrace on you. You're deadbeats. Deadbeats. We were people that wanted to pay. And we were rejected. We foiled. Where is that resolution that amended all the previous resolutions that stated we could not pay? That woman that was here last month, she asked the same question. Her answer was, there isn't one. Even our treasurer was so sure, he told her, I'm sure there is one. I don't know the number, but I'm sure there is one. And he was wrong. People don't even know you can't pay till the day of the auction. They don't even know this. What happened to ethics? What happened to compassion? What happened to knowledge? Nobody communicates with anybody. You do things in secret. Where is the resolutions in here that really matter? You have resolutions for 4-H week. Well, God bless them. That's a beautiful thing to do. But we need our homes back. Donna is dying. And to my dying day, I will be here. I requested an ethics review. I will be there. I want a review of the sale and transfer. You came to me, Bob was right, and I'm gonna close with this. He was right. We had no idea this was gonna come down on us. I go home and I see the bidder's husband chasing my horse in the field. And the troopers coming and banging on my door. I don't even know what happened. Surprise, you're all smirking at me on the front desk that day.
Still smirking.
Smirking. And I'm thinking, well, maybe we might have something going on. I go home, I get accosted by the bidder, banging on my door, harassing me for months before and weeks afterwards. She tells me to move the horse. All right, big country, gotta go. Then she tells me, you can't keep him, he's mine. Is this what we do here in Otsego County? We support brutal evictions like that? You support that, all of you?
Proud of it.
We wanted to pay our taxes. We didn't come after the house was sold. We came weeks before, asking for justice. Please, let us pay. That gentleman couldn't. You sell it for 10 times what it's worth. My house, 10 times what I owed. And what happened? You took everything from me. I'll be here. I'll be here. Because it's not only about me. It's not only about Bob. It's about everyone behind me and all of them in front of me that you did not allow to pay. Have the falls coming. I hope you had a great weekend. I'll be here. I'm an employee and I'm proud of the job I do because I help people. I want to be kind to them. I'm not here to judge them. I'm here to help them come from wherever they came from, to lift them up and to be a facilitator and not an obstacle. So, may God have mercy on all of us. Thank you.